You're watching Rogers Blue Jays baseball on Sportsnet. Final game of this series and final game of the regular season between the Blue Jays and the Rays. And the Blue Jays trying to win a series here this afternoon, trying to bounce back from one of their toughest defeats of the season a year ago, obviously. But one thing John Schneider is well programmed to do is turn the page, and they have to turn it quickly here. A day game today, and a guy who has certainly earned the playing time he has been getting since his recall, Charles McAdoo. 3 hits, 2 RBIs in last night's game, leading off tonight or this afternoon and playing third base. There's a lefty on the mound for the Rays, so just 2 left-handed bats in there for the Blue Jays, and Andres Jimenez and Nathan Lucas. And this lefty Ian Seymour, the Blue Jays saw him in long relief earlier this season. He has got a very high strikeout rate, Jim.
Allowed just 2 runs over 6 innings. That was in late July. Walked 1, struck out 7 when he faced those Blue Jays out of the bullpen in long relief. He's bounced back and forth from the bullpen and starting this season, but his last 3 games, they've all been starts, and Seymour has gone 6 innings in each of them, including giving up 3 runs over 6 against the Orioles. Last time out, 4-seam fastball up in the zone, changeup away. The changeup is his best pitch. And a young hitter here like Charles McAdoo, I'm sure he'll be introduced to that pitch early on.
McAdoo's been a very important piece of the puzzle again since his recall. 10 for 23, a .435 average in 8 games. This is his 4th time leading off for the Blue Jays this year. It's always been against lefties. And he goes after the first pitch and fouls it off to our right. And we are underway here at the Trop. It'll be McAdoo, Daz Cameron, and Alejandro Kirk. The top third of the order for the Blue Jays. You can see that Seymour works from the extreme third base edge of the rubber as he gets a swing and a miss there, and it's 0-2.
Bit of a lower arm angle also. It's been even lower this year compared to last. Pitched in 19 games for the Rays last year in his rookie season. So feeling much more comfortable this season in his 40th game.
Not many guys make the transition during a season from bullpen to rotation as seamlessly and effectively as Seymour has this year. And he got him to chase a changeup down and away.
And you see where he is on the pitching rubber really impacts what this changeup does, diving down and away from a right-handed batter. He's way over the third base side, but he's got the low arm angle. And you see that ball just never really makes it onto the edge of the plate, just fading away.
So he strikes out the first batter he faces, and now here is Cameron getting a start against the lefty. Again, John Schneider putting as many right-handed bats as he could in there, except for the switch-hitting Brandon Valenzuela. And if there are those wondering, and I'm quite sure there are those wondering, Jesus Sanchez would not have started this game no matter what happened last night with a lefty on the mound. He does not start against lefties, so Cameron would have been in there anyways. We will see if Sanchez comes into play later. You and I have been talking this morning. You know, if they're down and Cameron or Straw come up late in the game, will John Schneider go to Sanchez today, knowing he might have to leave him in the game? And then there's tomorrow night, Cam Schlittler on the mound, a righty. Sanchez does start against righties, obviously, for this team. Will he be in the lineup tomorrow night? Swing and a miss. And right now, Seymour is making quick work. That's 6 pitches and 2 strikeouts. But, you know, last night obviously wasn't the first issue. There have been many issues defensively. And we'll talk about Sanchez and what he spoke with the media earlier today. We'll get into that as time allows. But I think you would agree with me. It's going to be interesting to see if the playing time for Sanchez is altered going forward based on what happened last night.
I can't see how it's not going to be altered moving forward. I don't anticipate seeing him in a role this game. Even if you were to use him as a pinch hitter, then you got to burn another player to go to that outfield position probably. He's not ideal as a pinch hitter off the bench. His approach has not been conducive to that role, so I don't see that happening. The moment of truth will be tomorrow night's lineup when it comes out in New York against a right-handed starting pitcher, and I do not anticipate seeing him in it.
Meanwhile, Seymour is 1 pitch away from an immaculate inning. He struck out McAdoo on 3 pitches. He struck out Daz Cameron on 3 pitches, and he's 0-2 on the Blue Jays' hottest hitter, Alejandro Kirk. Kirk will not comply, would not chase the changeup down and away, so there will be no immaculate inning. Those don't happen very often.
And when Alejandro Kirk is rocking, he's like walking more than he's striking up. This is the style of hitter that he is. Not everybody lays off that pitch right there.
Fouled out of play. He has homered in each of the first 2 games of this series, 5 for 11 in the series. And John Schneider told us before the game today, even the ball that he hit nearly to the wall in right field in the 9th inning, Schneider thought he got it. He thought it might have been off the wall, maybe over the wall, and even the outs are allowed right now for Kirk. The takes are good, and it's 2-2.
And when you're swinging the bat as well as he's been swinging it, as good a hitter as he is, everything that comes off his bat, especially if it's up in the air, you're anticipating it might be the one. Alejandro, trying to be the hero last night, just came up short in deep center.
Bounces it just foul up the first baseline. Never dropped the bat on his way down to first. Didn't miss it by much.
So this is a good example of Alejandro and how much coverage he has. I talked about the big stretch that he gets, but look at that coverage that he has. Did he hit it hard? No, but you're battling with 2 strikes. You foul off a tough pitcher's pitch. Maybe he buys himself another pitch that is more in the zone that he can handle. So tough to retire on strikes.
This one is up in the air.
It hit it.
It hit something, and it hit it in foul territory, so it's a dead ball.
I saw that one.
Yeah, it hit a catwalk, but in foul territory, so it is a dead ball.
The B ring, it caught the 2nd ring from the middle.
Look at you with your...
I'm all over it.
You're a catwalk expert.
I couldn't see the baseball last night at all, Dan, but now that daytime, maybe the roof is a little brighter for me. I tracked that baseball right off the bat. And you can see there, 3rd base umpire James Jean, he went up with the arms. It could have been Sean Barber, the home plate umpire, that did it initially, but they both caught it.
There are all kinds of different rules, but the simplest one is if it hits a catwalk in foul territory, it is a dead ball. And look at the way that Kirk has made Seymour reach after he struck out the first 2 batters on just 6 pitches. Got a piece of that one as well. This is already Kirk's longest plate appearance of the season. Two yet again, and it's up and away, ball 3. Boy, when he's locked in, he is about as locked in as a guy can get.
It is remarkable. And with his swing, he gets that bat on plane so early. That's why he shoots stuff the other way so well.
Up the middle and through off the glove of a diving Mateo. And how about that at bat for Alejandro Kirk?
Kevin Cash, the Rays manager, commented on that this morning, just how hot Alejandro Kirk is. And that at bat right there shows you how tough he is on a pitcher. I'm sure Seymour wanted to end this at bat 6 pitches ago, even if it was a base hit. Keeps fouling off tough pitches, staying alive, and still finds the hole up the middle.
An 11 pitch at bat that ends in a base hit. And now here's George Springer back in the starting lineup this afternoon, DHing, swinging at the first pitch and popping it up in foul territory. The catch made by Jonathan Aranda to retire the side.
Or listen wherever you get your podcasts.
Bottom of the first, and here come the hometown Tampa Bay Rays. All that speed at the top of the lineup at Chandler Simpson, and then 3 very good hitters in Caminero, Aranda, and Yandy Diaz, who is so hot right now with 10-game hitting streak, hitting .442 in that stretch, hit a 2-run home run in the first inning last night, and then 5 through 8, all kinds of speed again for the Rays. You know the style they like to play, and obviously Shane Bieber's got to be as aware of what they can do once they get a couple guys on the bases as what they can do in the box.
Bieber making his 10th start of the season in this Blue Jays uniform. Very good last time out, allowing just 1 run over 6 innings against the Yankees. He walked 1 and struck out 5. Did it a little bit differently. Really leaned on his 4-seam fastball a little bit more. That doesn't necessarily mean he'll be doing that today against the Rays lineup. Sometimes that is lineup specific, so we'll see how he and Alejandro Kirk execute their game plan. Always important for Bieber is to be on the edges of the plate, especially for him. Got to stay away from the middle. That's where a lot of damage is, and we saw that against Max Scherzer early last night when Yandy Diaz hit a slider in the middle of the plate out of the park.
He was so good against them back in Toronto just under a month ago. Chandler Simpson, a .309 hitter, will lead it off, and look at a strike at the knees. Simpson this year against the Blue Jays hitting .372 in 11 games, 16 hits, all of them singles, and 6 stolen bases. And like Diaz, a hot hitter, although it's almost all singles for Simpson. Down and in, ball 2. Interesting that he had been hitting 5th or 6th for a couple of months, but starting with Tuesday night, Kevin Cash had him up in the leadoff spot. He's been there all 3 games, and just what you want to see, a ground ball right at the second baseman for out number 1.
Defensively for the Blue Jays behind Bieber this afternoon, Daz Cameron gets the start in left field. We've already seen him hit the top of the lineup. Straw in center, Nathan Lucas in right. On the infield, it's McAdoo and Jimenez on the left side. Good to see Ernie Clement back in there, still a little under the weather, but not enough where he can't play. Okamoto is at first, and Alejandro Kirk back there behind Bieber again.
So Ernie, much to his dismay, has strep throat for the second time this year. As Junior Caminero takes a strike, had a high fever yesterday, did not play, although had it gotten a little dicier, he was going to go into the game. Obviously, they were short on guys, had the Bateman situation, the Smith situation, and Ernie volunteered to play. But I've never had strep that I remember anyways, but apparently the meds start working pretty quickly, and he is not 100%, but he is feeling considerably better than he did yesterday. And as we all know, given the chance to play, if at all possible, he's going to be in there. Fastball in there from Bieber. It's 1-2 on Junior Caminero.
And I think players feel that around a team. They see guys with some nagging things, both Bateman and Smith last night, feeling some tweaks behind their legs in the hamstring area. So Ernie's doing what he has to do, but to get in there certainly helps out.
Swing and a miss. Good spot there for the curveball, and Bieber strikes out Caminero.
Well, Shane can spin the baseball. He's got the curveball, the slider, the cutter. He'll mix them all in, but this is the bigger breakup, a little slower, and it seems to be the MO against Caminero. We saw Paul Sewald come in last night, did an outstanding job striking out Caminero on that big sweeper.
2 down in the bottom of the first, and here's Jonathan Aranda, a .283 hitter with 15 home runs. And he'll swing through it. It's 0-1. As we have mentioned before, childhood friends and WBC teammates Aranda and Alejandro Kirk, both playing for Team Mexico in the WBC and have known each other since they were kids. Down and in, 2 balls and a strike.
Shane a little frustrated with that. You see that reaction. I think with that cutter, he wants it higher. Doesn't want it to be down in the zone like a little mini slider. You want maybe more belt high. Trying to run it in on the hands of a left-handed batter.
Well, Kirk didn't catch it, but it was a strike, and he held the glove there long enough. He didn't have the ball, but he held the glove there long enough to convince Sean Barber that was a strike.
It's hard not to laugh as you see that glove. It starts down, and Alejandro really pulls it out. Of course, this is one of the best there is in the game at what he does, receiving those pitches. You don't have to catch it; just has to cross the zone.
He didn't mean for that to be funny, but it was funny.
You know, it's probably a little bit too. We talked about ABS so much when it came in, but if the challenge system, if it went to full ABS, it wouldn't matter what it looks like back there. You could sit down on the ground back there and just knock balls down and let a computer say if it's ball or strike. I think that's part of the reason why baseball also doesn't go to a full computer system.
I think just about everybody seems pretty happy with the challenge system. Maybe it'll be tweaked in the years ahead. Swing and a miss. He got it. And a very nice start for Bieber. Aranda frustrated, breaks the bat after the strikeout.
Hello.
Well, Jesus Sanchez was directly involved in 2 fly balls to left field that dropped in last night that led directly to all the runs the Rays scored in the game. And this morning we caught up with him for his perspective on what happened on each of them. Start in the first inning with Junior Camanero's tall fly ball. Sanchez said he lost it when it passed over one of Tropicana Field's catwalks. He believed it had gone foul, but when he realized it hadn't, it was dropping fair. It was too late for him to reach it. This one's Richie Palacios' shallow flare in the 4th inning. Sanchez said he lost the ball in the lights and never regained sight of it. He looked to Andres Jimenez, who he believed could make a play on it. We all saw the rest. Sanchez was clear in saying that is no excuse and that he himself has to be responsible for that play. Quote, "That's a ball I need to catch. That's my ball. I need to catch it." He also admitted to feeling embarrassed after the game and said, quote, "I know I need to improve my defense."
Arden, thank you. So a fair bit, Joe, if we so choose to unpack there. Sanchez did also say after he does not feel as comfortable in left field as he does in right field. He's played more right than left in his career, more left this season than in any previous season. And Arden is right. He did say, quote, "I need to be better." Whoa, here is a blast to left field. Hammered on out of here by Kazuma Okamoto, and the Blue Jays take the lead.
Somebody's power bat may be back. Kazuma Okamoto with another home run. He homered in game 1 of this series, and wouldn't this help this Blue Jays offense continue to keep rolling?
Number 26 on the season, and you talk about one where it was obvious right off the bat that it was going. 415 feet, 107.3 off the bat. And now look at this. This is a beauty by Jimenez. He can walk to first with a bunt single.
Power into the seats and then drop one down the line. This Blue Jays offense is looking very dynamic, but from a left-handed pitcher, we've always said the breaking pitches are coming into Okamoto. That's right into his barrel, and Seymour left this slider up and over the middle of the plate, and that for sure wasn't coming back.
So that's 2 home runs here in this series, and as I'm sure everybody watching knows, Okamoto's been a very streaky guy, and wouldn't this be a great time for him to get on a hot streak? Here's Ernie Clement. The offense has been much better the last couple of games. 10 runs Tuesday night, 6 last night. You can't blame the offense for the loss last night. Down low, 2-0 on Clement. Boy, I don't recall saying much this year when Okamoto homers. Did he get enough? Will it get to the, like when he gets them?
He doesn't hit wall scrapers.
No, he does not. When he gets them, there is very little doubt.
I think he stopped you mid-sentence.
He did. we were having a Jesus Sanchez conversation, and then Kaz Okamoto took it in another direction. We'll get back to it, but
that caught our attention in a hurry.
It was loud.
Those are fun to watch back, I bet.
Meanwhile, 3-0 on Clement, who will look one over and take a strike. 3-1.
Seymour can be pretty quick to the plate at times from the left side. He'll slide step it just to change it up. Other times, if they take their shot first move, they could steal a bag off of him.
You know, on another front, kind of a big fan of the bunt single from Jimenez against a lefty. You know, the lefty falls off to third base.
And what a great time after the home run, too. The pitcher is still a little shell-shocked from giving up a big home run. Lefty falling over to the third base side.
See if they start him here.
It's hard for me to start a runner in a 3-2 count with the lefty on the mound, because if you're starting him, you kind of got to go first move, and then you're really gambling. If you wait to make sure he's going home and the strikeout does happen at the plate, it's a strike him out, throw him out double play almost for sure.
3-2 on Clement. He is going. And is swung on and missed, but there's no throw as Fortes could never get a handle on it. So Clement strikes out, but Jimenez has his 18th stolen base of the season.
Well, the green light was on, or John Schneider said, you're running on this pitch. Watch Jimenez. He kind of gambled. Figured he threw over the one time, wouldn't do it again, and he guessed right.
So he's at second with one out, and here's Miles Straw getting a start in center field. And the first pitch swing and a pop-up on the infield. Aranda stays with it and makes the catch. 2 down. Straw might have been in. Well, he would have been in there somewhere, I think, no matter what, with a lefty on the mound. But Brett Bateman is not in the starting lineup today. Bateman with mild hamstring tightness. You remember him coming out of the game last night. But it appears the Blue Jays dodged a bullet here. He had an MRI last night here locally. It did not reveal any structural damage. Don't know if he's in play today. That was uncertain as of a couple of hours ago when we spoke with John Schneider. But I think everybody hoping that he is back in there tomorrow night in New York with a righty and Cam Schlittler on the mound. So the guy who might be in there, because Bateman's not, because Bateman had been playing pretty much every day, is Nathan Lucas. He gets a start against a lefty. But pretty good news for both Bateman and Josh Smith. It appears, a cramping issue in the hamstring for Smith. He stayed in the game. There goes Jimenez. The throw down, not in time. But Caminero is pointing into the dugout. And let's see if Kevin Cash and the Rays want to have a look at it. They do not. Jimenez on the very aggressive end in terms of trying to steal third with 2 outs in an inning.
And how about James Jean? The third base umpire is right on top of this play. He's got his nose right in there. A very close play, but he gets the hand in. But a great call by the umpire. You can't get any closer than that.
Where do you stand on the stolen base attempt of third with 2 outs?
We keep having this discussion, and I know where it's going, and I think we agree on it. Now, I mean, if you're going to take the 90 feet because it's that easy, that's one thing. But when it's that close, you just assume let that hitter try to knock you in with a base hit.
It's his 5th steal of third base this year. 2-2 now on Lucas.
And base stealers will tell you it's easier to steal third base than it is second. Because you can get such a good primary lead, secondary lead, and great jump.
You'd love him to get there with a 1 out, but Straw swung to the first pitch, as he's allowed to do, obviously, and so that prevented that. You get a guy there with a 1 out, and now the next hitter is thinking, hey, a fly ball, and it's another run.
And there is no question, you're better off being at third base. You can score so many different ways. Could be a ball in the dirt, could be an error on the infield, any kind of misplay. You'd rather be there, but you just got to really weigh the risks versus the benefits.
Bouncer to the right side. Aranda feeds Seymour, who beats Lucas to the bag for the 3rd out. But the Blue Jays do have the early 1-0 lead on an absolutely, positively, no doubt about it blast off the bat of Kaz Okamoto, number 26 on the season.
Negative, Tower. His win is a go.
With Bet365's early payout, I won the second they went up big.
Listen wherever you get your podcasts.
On Friday, August 28th, 1 week from tomorrow, the Blue Jays will take the field in their City Connect uniforms as the ballpark enters night mode. Catch all the action before summer slips away. Visit BlueJays.com/tickets to get your seats today. It'll be a weekend series with the Seattle Mariners in town. Always an interesting opponent for the Blue Jays. Bottom of the second, 1-0 Blue Jays, and here's Yandy Diaz looking at a strike from Shane Bieber. As we mentioned when we showed you the Rays lineup, bottom 1, Diaz is about as hot as they come right now. Bieber not messing around. A couple of fastballs in for strikes.
And you see where the setup is from Alejandro Kirk. They are working him in. You do not want to miss with something spinning in the middle of the plate.
Remember, Diaz hit the home run off Max Scherzer in the first inning on a slider last night. And Bieber got him. And Bieber went to his pitch com. He called off Alejandro Kirk. He wanted a fastball.
He also went to school on what he saw last night, I think. Good morning, good afternoon, good night. Coming right back with the heater, and he just blew it by him.
Strikeouts are brought to you by Subway. Get 25% off any footlong on game days. Order in the Subway app using code STRIKEOut. So 3 fastballs all around 92 miles an hour. And he just set down one of the hotter hitters in the game. And you're right. He watched the home run off Max Scherzer. And Max was the first to admit last night it was not a good pitch. He left that slider in a bad spot. Diaz crushed it. This is popped up, back of short. Jimenez drifting back into shallow left makes the catch. Cedric Mullins is retiring. Just a quick maybe tie a bow on the Scherzer situation. Obviously extremely and understandably frustrated in the moment last night during the game. Who wouldn't be? But after the game, 100% accountable and brushed off. He goes, I'm not going to talk about mistakes of anybody else. He said, I shouldn't have walked 2 guys. I shouldn't have made the pitch I did earlier to Diaz. And focused entirely on his own performance when he spoke after the game last night. I'm a team guy. I don't sit here and point fingers, talk about other people's mistakes. I talk about my mistakes. I'm accountable. I stand here myself and answer to the mistakes that I made.
Max has been doing this a long time, and he is a class act, as we know. And when it comes to that stuff, there was no pointing fingers. And that's not what you do to a teammate. You never bury your own teammate. That's not your job. Your job is out there between the lines, and Max was accountable for what he did, and everyone has to be. And I know as a player, when you're in a game like that and you're on a team like this, there are a lot of people wondering what's going on with Sanchez out in the outfield. He has gone through these struggles all season long. This is not new, and that's probably the bigger issue for the organization to handle.
A long throw bounced across by Jimenez, picked by Okamoto, and it's another 3-up, 3-down inning for Shane Bieber. Well, among the many pieces of information given to us today by John Schneider was that, and you may have heard this already, Vladimir Guerrero Jr. is going to play in a rehab game tonight. He will play for the Blue Jays A-ball affiliate Dunedin in Clearwater, which is only about half an hour from here. Maybe he will be the DH for the Dunedin Blue Jays tonight. And if all goes well, he will get on a plane tomorrow, fly to New York, and is eligible to come off the concussion IL on Saturday. So obviously they want to see how he feels in an actual game. The last 2 days he took ground balls, he ran, he hit here at the Trop, and he's going to be in a rehab game tonight. And good news, Joe, he could be back in the lineup on Saturday.
The lineup slowly coming around, and we talked in the open about Alejandro Kirk being one of the key guys on this team that hadn't really gotten on a roll offensively this season. If you can get George going, if you can get Vladdy back and get him going, this offense has looked like they're in another direction these last 2 days.
And Vladdy's return, obviously there's a domino effect when you get one of your key guys back. And, you know, Okamoto's been playing first, but he can probably, if Vladdy comes back and plays first, Okamoto will go back to third. And then that begs the question, at least in my mind, what do you do with Charles McAdoo, who is hitting really, really well right now? And as we have talked about, Charles McAdoo is a versatile guy. He's a natural infielder, but John Schneider has said he feels comfortable with him in the outfield. And McAdoo did start one game in left field a little bit earlier with the Blue Jays. And that could be another option. If they have gotten to the point where they just don't feel comfortable putting Sanchez in the outfield anymore, they do have a couple of guys in McAdoo and Josh Smith, both natural infielders, but both somewhat experienced in the outfield, and I think guys that John Schneider was comfortable with out there.
Charles McAdoo has more than earned his spot in left field if that's where it's going to be. His bat needs to be in the lineup right now.
Seymour freezes him though here and strikes him out for the second time in the ballgame.
But you have to ride that out. Lefty, righty, doesn't really matter. Is it a good matchup against Cam Slitler? No, but you have to go to battle on that particular day, I think. It's just when you have seen enough, and it hasn't just, as we said, it wasn't just last night for Sanchez. It wasn't just one play. It's been way more. It's been going on a long time. It's been going on the base pass as well. And as a manager, you have a roster to work with. That'll be up to John. Now, as an organization, you provide that roster to your manager.
And May, June is one thing. This is late August, and they're in the fight of their lives right now just to try to get in. 7 teams, 1 spot. Every game always counts, but you can put that in bold right now. Every game is so meaningful for this team. And that was a game they could have won last night. And had they won it, they'd be tied for the third wild card spot right now instead of a game back.
It's far different when an offense is not swinging the bats, and that's why you're losing games. Maybe the pitching staff has gotten into a little bit of a slump. That's why you're losing games. But when you're losing games, when glaring plays happen out there and they're not just one-offs, you need to make an adjustment.
Baseball. He has been one of their better hitters against right-handed pitching this year, Jesus Sanchez. Not lately, not since he's come off the IL. Overall, the numbers are pretty good, but to justify the defensive issues, the numbers have to be really good.
Beyond good. That's right.
So we'll see what happens later today, tomorrow night in the Bronx, and going forward. 0-2 on Daz Cameron. Lifts a fly ball to center field. Mullins coming in, and he'll make the play for out number 2.
That's the changeup from Ian Seymour. It's an excellent pitch. Opponent's hitting just 169 against that pitch coming in today, and it just pairs so well with both of his fastballs, the four-seamer and the sinker. Even though they're in the low 90s, that radar gun can be very deceiving when you get a pitcher from a different angle, different spot in the pitching rubber, and mixing his pitches.
Alejandro Kirk had a base hit his first time up in an 11 pitch at bat. His longest plate appearance in 3 years. And it was 0-2. It started 0-2, and then he just took some and fouled off a bunch and got a base hit.
As good as he is, Alejandro, in the batter's box, when you just said that, I was kind of saying, you know, that kind of makes sense, though. He doesn't appear to me to be a guy that's fouling a ton of pitches off and having long at-bats, because you probably walk first. That's what he has done a lot more than anything. So very unique at-bat, and it ended well.
Cortez tried to convince Sean Barber that was a strike, but a couple of inches low, and it's 2-1. Cortez getting the start behind the plate today. Toronto native Liam Hicks starting the first 2 games of the series.
Be interesting how they use Liam Hicks, because he did play some first base with the Marlins, but Aranda's there. Their DH is pretty set, so it might just be behind the plate.
Ran it in on Kirk, and it's fouled off. Yeah, Hicks had 3 different ways to get into the lineup with the Marlins, but just one here with the Rays, barring an injury to a guy like Yandy Diaz or Aranda. But he is clearly the #1 catcher in this with the Rays, catching most of the time. Two and 2 the count on Kirk. Up and away, it's full. Line drive right field, but DeLuca's back to make the play, and it's a 1-2-3, top of the 3rd. So a little respect for Alejandro Kirk here at the end of the top of the 3rd. Another pretty long at bat and more good contact, as there has been the entire series. And Ian Seymour comes off the mound. Look, he's pumped up, a little fist pump to get him, and then a smile and a couple of choice words in a very friendly, respectful way for Kirk, basically saying, come on, man.
Seymour saying, I've thrown half my pitches to you today.
This has been one of the best developments for the Blue Jays in recent weeks, and the biggest offensive reason why the Blue Jays are winning more than they're losing recently. I mean, they've just been starving for offense all season long, and Kirk is performing at the highest level, really, that a guy can for weeks on end right now. If they can get Okamoto hot, McAdoo 0 for 2 today, yes, but swinging the bat very well. See what Guerrero looks like when he comes off the IL. Jimenez is having some good at bats. There are more reasons for optimism on the offensive side now than there have been for pretty much the entire season. And the biggest thing they may have going for them, I mean, the Red Sox can pitch, and the Yankees can pitch, and the Rays can pitch. But after Sunday, they're done with all of those teams, and they will play a slew of teams who are under 500, right near them or a little bit behind them in the standings. And One would think it stands to get a little bit easier, at least on paper it will. Can the Blue Jays take advantage? Close, but no, and it's 3-1 on Richie Palacios to begin the bottom of the third.
Little breaking ball just didn't quite come back enough. I think he wanted it out there, but missed the edge.
Swing and a miss. 3-2. That's the two-seam fastball there that he's incorporating a little bit more.
Yeah, the little sinker that he's incorporated more so against righties. He'll try to run it in on them just to open up the outside part of the plate for himself. But that was a nice one there. You get a hitter in a hitter's count. A little bit of movement. Looked like it was just sinking down a bit.
He has thrown his four-seam fastball about half the time today and mixed in his other four pitches. And another thing that Shane Bieber does more than most, he works with pace. He wants to catch the ball, get the sign, or give the sign, and then throw the next pitch. He is a big rhythm guy. This is popped way, way up back of the plate, and Kirk's got it. He had just enough room. That's a tricky play in a normal ballpark, never mind here at the Trop.
Always tricky going back. The last thing you want to do as a catcher is over pursue this baseball. So you go back gently because the ball is rotating back toward the field of play. Everything's good here. Picks it up, but right in the last second he was just a little bit off. And he might have had a tough time tracking that ball. Took a peek down at the very end, maybe lost it for a fraction of a second, but nicely recovered.
And that easily could have hit a speaker or part of the catwalk. And if it does, it's foul. And it's a dead ball, but it didn't hit anything, and you can see the concentration. That's a great look at what he is feeling as he's going after that ball.
That was on the outside. I guarantee you on the inside there was some panic because he recovered quickly to his left.
The number 8 hitter is the shortstop this afternoon, Jorge Mateo, with Taylor Walls not in the lineup. Mateo was with the Orioles for a few years, released recently by Atlanta and just signed last week by the Rays. A good defender, but just a .223 lifetime hitter. You know, getting back to the catwalks in this ballpark, and I'm sure everybody on the Rays does this automatically, you've got to have all eyes on it because it can work in your favor if you see that the ball hits the catwalk. Like, again, that's a dead ball, and it wouldn't have mattered if Kirk had caught it. So I'm sure Kevin Cash and everybody in there, when a ball goes up, everybody is locked in, just keep it, trying to find it and seeing if it hit anything up there.
Has to play to your advantage a little bit as a home team just because you know how to play in the ballpark.
Boy, when in doubt, Bieber is going to the fastball, and he is throwing them in the zone. Pitch after pitch after pitch.
That's what I noted in his previous start against the Yankees. Much more with the four-seam fastball, and he's repeating that today.
Three-two. Jammed him. Popped up. It will be Clement calling off Okamoto. A much better angle for Ernie. 2 down.
Well, that is the second baseman's ball, and Ernie does a nice job. We could hear him from up here in the broadcast booth calling that ball right there, and that just ends everything. Okamoto can shut it down at first. Boy, communication is just so critical on a big league baseball field, and you can't always hear one another, but here at the Trop, you tend to be able to hear each other.
Not as much crowd noise is what you're saying without saying. They've had 12,000 and 13,000 the first 2 games here. Looks like about the same here today, but it's been a problem for years, obviously, for this franchise, which has been competitive more often than not, contender more often than not. 1-1 on Fortes, the catcher, hitting .269. The upper deck is closed. They don't sell seats generally during the regular season because they just don't have that many people coming, and they don't staff it. So the lower 2 levels are where everybody sits.
Blue Jays fans can sit where they want. Almost.
Bieber ahead 1-2. Fastball there, strike 3 called. Fortes wants to challenge.
Tampa Bay batter is challenging the pitch.
This closer look is brought to you by Specsavers, and it is strike 3.
Tampa Bay will have 1 remaining.
So how about 9 up, 9 down with 4 strikeouts, 1 time through the order for Shane Bieber.
Ian Seymour getting set for his 4th inning of work. He's had some success with his changeup here this afternoon. And, you know, anytime the Tampa Bay Rays start doing something unusual, we really got to pay attention to it. And that is the case with the amount of changeups they are throwing this season. They lead the majors in changeup usage by a wide margin. They're actually throwing changeups more often than any team has since StatCast began tracking pitch usage in 2015. And opponents have struggled to generate much offense against them, whiffing a third of the time they've swung. Nearly half the Rays changeups are put in play. Excuse me, half the time they're put in play, they're on the ground. And Seymour, obviously a prime example of that. It's his most used offering this season. Opponents hitting just 169 against it with a 265 slug.
Arden, thank you. And whenever the Rays do something differently or more so than anybody else, I think everybody else kind of takes notice and says, okay, what are they, why are they doing that? Is there something to dig into there and see if we should maybe look into it a little further, copycat them a little bit?
Especially on the pitching side,
yeah.
Right? Even it goes so far as their bullpen is over. We saw Nick Martinez here. The changeup is a huge pitch for him as a starting pitcher, but Brian Baker, their closer, essentially a 2-pitch guy. That changeup's a huge pitch for him. Kevin Kelly, we saw last night, enjoying a very good season out of the Rays bullpen. Changeup a big part of his repertoire.
Swing and a miss, and Seymour strikes out George Springer. That's 5 strikeouts already for Ian Seymour.
And I think with the changeup usage, it's also the other pitches with it. Baker uses a high velocity fastball. With his changeup, Seymour mixes in. It's not a high velocity fastball, but it's a 4-seamer at the top. He'll also sink it, paired with that changeup from that same release point.
One down. Here's Kazuma Okamoto. Line drive, fair ball. A home run in the 2nd, and he's got himself a double here in the 4th.
Okamoto not waiting around this time. The home run was on a slider. Here he gets a first pitch fastball. Looks like maybe they're trying to come inside. Didn't quite get it in there. It stays middle. And he's all over it, tucking it inside that left field line.
Kyle Snyder, who does not leave any mound visits in his back pocket when the game is over. He is out there here in the 4th inning just to check on Seymour and have a conversation about Andres Jimenez, who bunted his way aboard his first time up. How does Seymour get so many strikeouts when it's 92 with a fastball, nothing really jumps off the page?
I think it's got to be a little deception. We talked about his delivery, where he is on the pitching rubber, but also that arm angle. And that arm angle has come down a little bit even more this year compared to last year. So deception has to be a big part of it. When you see guys with 91-mile-per-hour fastballs and they're getting swings and misses, or they're getting pitches blown by people, pair it though with that changeup is, I would call, his 2nd best pitch. It's a good combination.
Lefties hit him better than righties. Is that because the changeup is more of a weapon against righties than lefties?
Absolutely. Anytime you see reverse splits like that, it's got to be either a splitter or a changeup, one of those secondary pitches that's going away from the opposite-handed hitter.
He'll catch the inside corner with that one and jump out in front, 0-1. And a swing and a miss, 0-2. Again, it's 91, but he does get a lot of swing and a miss on his fastball.
We've seen a lot of opposing pitchers attack Jimenez up there. A lot of left-handed hitters in general. We've seen it with Sanchez. We saw it with Garcia when he was here. Up and away is almost that big hole for left-handed batters. So many of them better low ball hitters.
Trying to get him to chase a change. Ball one. A bouncer to the right side. Here comes Palacios. The flip's in time. That is the second out as Okamoto comes to third, and is something going on with Jimenez. Oh, this is not what you want to see for a team that has had so many injuries, and now Jimenez clearly favoring something.
He was getting down the line as fast as he could, trying to put the pressure on the defense right there, but beyond that first base bag, maybe he felt something. And this is not a good sight. Right around the first base bag. His right leg. Looks like he's feeling in behind it in the hamstring area. Have you ever pulled a hamstring?
Yep. Doesn't feel good.
No. And all you can do is hope it's something minor. We saw Bateman leave the game last night.
Minor for Bateman, it appears, last night. Minor for Smith. Both of them hopefully okay. Obviously, we don't know about Jimenez, whether he will be able to stay in the game, which is day after day after day for whatever reason. And some of them are fluky injuries you can't anticipate or prevent, but they have just been beset by injuries this year.
Marlo Hale and John Schneider already talking options.
Clement takes inside, ball one. Well, I think it comes down to, if Jimenez can't continue, is Josh Smith healthy enough to go into the game? They need an infielder. In an absolute pinch, Miles Straw can come in and play the infield if Smith can't play, and then they can put somebody else in the outfield. But less than ideal right now, and you can see John Schneider's working on his card already, so that he is going to go out to the home plate umpire at the end of this half inning and inform Sean Barber what the change is.
Always needing to pivot, being ready to pivot. I'm sure they go over all kinds of options before every single game.
Down and away, 2-2 on Clement, trying to come up with a two-out base hit to knock Okamoto home.
Or a changeup that maybe bounces in the dirt. That's why if you're Okamoto here, you've got a left-handed pitcher, you can get a long way off that third base bag, and anything at all that gets away from the catcher, you could try to score. Like that.
Did not go. All of the Rays had taken a step or two towards their dugout, but Clement checked it, and it's full.
Ernie is very unique in the way he holds that bat, but where he's holding it there, it went a little further than that, but not far enough.
So now it's full. And he checked it again and draws the walk.
Those are the changeups I'm referring to in the dirt because he throws so many of them, but they were both right in the middle of the plate, so Fortes was able to smother both of them.
Now Straw with an opportunity. First and third, two down. Straw popped up on the first pitch he saw back in the second.
Can Miles manipulate the bat and shoot one? The whole right side of the infield is wide open.
Wide open.
Palacios playing way up the middle, right as far as he can go. The second baseman.
If you are Straw in this situation, would you try?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
We know he's pretty much a pull hitter, but he'll do what he can to manipulate that bat here, I'm sure.
Maybe Valenzuela's coming into the game, and the whole infield is going to have to shuffle around. We'll see. Brandon can play some first base. Okamoto would go to third. McAdoo would go to second. Clement would go to short. But they're going to have to do something a little bit unconventional here unless Smith is able to come into the game. And I think Smith feels pretty good, but it doesn't feel like he felt 100% today. And it certainly doesn't look like he is getting ready to come in the game. 2-2. Interesting with 2 strikes, going back to what you were saying about Palacios. In a 2-strike count, he's not as far up the middle right now. He's plugged up the hole a little bit.
And with 2 strikes, it's more of an oppo in terms of your defensive positioning. Thinking more pull early in the count. Looks like he's trying to a little bit with that swing. You're really just trying to lead with the hands and have the barrel trail. Just really trying to stay inside of the pitch, to catch it deep, shoot it the other way. Easier to do with a guy throwing 91 than 98.
Seymour gets him. Well, the Blue Jays threaten but can't add on and still lead 1-0.
Where you get your podcasts.
So another injury for the Blue Jays, and John Schneider's going out to tell Sean Barber, and he's saying, can you believe this? I mean, this is almost a daily occurrence, it feels like, and Schneider having to tell Sean Barber about the moves, and there are multiple moves to try to make this work, because obviously Josh Smith is not in play unless there's some kind of an emergency. So Brandon Valenzuela's gone to first, Kaz Okamoto's gone to third, Charles McAdoo's gone from third to second, and Ernie Clement has gone from second to short.
The word of the day is versatility.
Wow.
And yeah, you can tell by the look on John's face. The hits keep coming, and this team just keeps punching back. And that's what they've got to keep on doing. It is getting into the latter stages of August, and they call them the dog days of August for a reason. It's because a lot of these things can creep up on you as players. We've seen some hamstrings now, a lot of these soft tissue issues, injuries.
And again, it looks like they dodged a bullet with both Bateman and Smith. Maybe they're both available tomorrow night. Both of those guys not quite 100%, but neither appears to be too serious. Don't know about Jimenez. Won't know till after the game at the earliest, the severity of it. But needless to say, Andres Jimenez is a tremendous defensive player and has been swinging a pretty good bat recently. And if he were to be sidelined for any period of time, that is a pretty big loss for this team. Little chopper towards second. McAdoo got to hurry, and it's off the glove of Valenzuela and out of play. And the speed of Simpson will result in him being at second base.
This game of baseball will get you every single time. The Blue Jays forced to make some changes, and you've got some relative inexperience out there, and McAdoo at second, Valley at first, and you've got the speedster Chandler Simpson that, of course, because why wouldn't he hit a chopper to the right side? It's a tough play for McAdoo. He unloads, but you see Valenzuela, he's going to stretch a little bit too soon, but he's not very far away. And the last thing as a first baseman, you want a ball fired at you from close range. Just a mess all around with Simpson running.
It's an infield hit and an error. The error charged to McAdoo on the throw to allow Simpson to go to second. First base runner for the Rays in the ballgame. Now here's Caminero, who struck out of the first. Rips a ball to left field. It's over the head of Cameron and off the wall. Simpson's going to come in to score. It's a very long RBI single for Caminero to tie the game. My goodness, he hits the ball hard.
This curveball from Bieber stayed middle in, and you see where it just backs up, and that is a dangerous spot. We talked about last night, Yandy Diaz hitting that home run off Scherzer on a slider that hung over the middle of the plate. This one stays middle in, and it was on a rope.
So just like that, it's 1-1. Now here's Aranda, who struck out in the first. Ball 1 from Bieber, who had retired the first 9 in the ballgame, including 4 strikeouts. The Rays, one of the better teams in baseball at turning something small into something much bigger. If they keep putting it in play, putting pressure on the defense. Now, this part of the order, Caminero, Aranda, Diaz, they're not thinking about putting it in play, putting pressure on the defense. They're thinking about slug. But this team, they can get something started and keep it going. Kirk wants to challenge this.
Toronto catcher challenging the ball call.
Did it clip the corner? Wow, it did.
Toronto will have 2 remaining.
Changeup from Bieber is fading away from the left-handed batter, but Kirk, in receiving it, felt that it caught the edge, and he was right.
One and 2, the count on Aranda. Strike 3 called, and now Aranda wants to challenge.
Tampa Bay is challenging the strike call.
And he's correct.
Tampa Bay's got 1.
So the Rays still with 1 remaining. Back-to-back pitches challenged. Aranda asked for time. And a swing and a miss. A big strikeout there to get Aranda.
Good curveball that time at the bottom of the zone, and he gets it. Aranda to chase, and that's one thing you can do with Aranda. The strikeouts are there if you make your pitches, and Shane made a good one there.
Now Yandy Diaz. Bieber struck him out with fastballs back in the second. Fastball here, and for what it's worth, if you look at Yandy Diaz's numbers, a much better breaking ball hitter than he is fastballs or off-speed pitches, meaning splitters and changers.
And even that swing right there, he could be one of those hitters that really just sits soft and just tries to react to fastballs, knowing he's going to get his fair share of breakers.
Kirk sliding in. And it's a called strike, and it's 0-2.
Certainly no secret what the game plan is here against Diaz. The question here is, do you waste one away, a slider, just to change the plane and come back with a fastball?
The answer was yes.
Yes. He's such a good hitter that those types of guys, for me, earn that respect of you can keep throwing the fastballs because you think they're beating them, but changing it up like that might not be a bad idea, just to change the speed, the movement on the pitch, and now come back with a fastball.
1 on, 1 out, and a 1-1 tie here in the 4th inning. And the 1-2 pitch. Ground ball through the left side. He threw him another curveball. And it's a base hit for Diaz. And again, Yandy Diaz's numbers against breaking balls by far his best category.
And this is on both fronts, whether it's Alejandro Kirk behind the plate or Shane himself. If you want to throw the pitch, of course he wants it to be away, but what's the reaction from Bieber? I don't think that reaction is that, darn it, that was a bad location. I think he's kicking himself for throwing that pitch. He went with the breaking ball to waste one. Now you come back with a fastball. Not sure why you throw that pitch in that situation to that hitter.
So they're threatening again. 1st and 2nd, 1 out for Cedric Mullins. Okamoto is in at 3rd. And it's popped up. Straight up near the plate. Who sees it? Nobody!
Let it go. Foul ball. Foul ball.
Wow.
Kirk touched the ball in foul territory. That's why I was saying let it go. Don't go touch the ball in fair territory. I don't think he did it on purpose. It just so happened to be that's when he touched the baseball. It was still foul.
Yeah, it fell because just nobody caught it, right? It wasn't an intentional drop or anything.
But once they had this miscommunication, let it go. Leave it alone because it's going to spin back foul. Alejandro went for the baseball, not thinking about it being foul.
He's fortunate that he didn't reach any further, that he was just in foul territory. Boy, oh boy, oh boy, did the Blue Jays get lucky there.
Well, it does give Mullins new life here, and they forfeited an out, but it could have been worse.
And Kirk never looked comfortable finding that ball and getting underneath it. Chase is there, and it's 0-2. And again, remember, the infield fly rule is if the ball is fair. So the batter would have been out had the ball remained fair. So I guess if he touches it, if he does get to it,
it's a fair ball
in fair territory.
That it's a fair ball, and the batter would have been out.
Interesting.
Right? Yep.
There was a lot going on there, and different people might have been thinking different things. Don't know if that's what he was thinking or just the reaction when you see the ball fall is go get the ball. Like, it's impossible to know what was going on in his head at the moment.
It looked like his reaction was, we've miscommunicated here, grab the baseball.
Yeah.
I mean, for him to be thinking infield fly rule there too, that's a lot going on.
This is popped up left field. Daz Cameron coming over near the line, and he makes the catch. 2 down.
That's a great question, Dan, because I can promise you as a catcher, in that situation, I'm not thinking about the infield fly rule. I'm thinking I've got to pop up on the plate, I've got to make the play, and now you can't pick it up, and your infielders aren't helping you, and you panic and just go grab the baseball. Maybe not. Maybe Alejandro's way ahead of me, but that was a tricky play because of the infield fly rule that was in play.
And because it's the Trop. Everything is trickier here, and it certainly didn't look like he was able to find the ball or comfortably get underneath it. Okamoto was the next closest to it. Hot shot to third. Okamoto's got it and throws him out. And at the end of 4, this ball game is tied at 1.
F-150.
The best seats in the house are reserved for members. Get closer to the action while enjoying big savings of up to 40% all season long. Explore full and quarter season memberships and find the experience that's right for you. Head to bluejays.com/memberships for more details. Top of the 5th inning here, the rubber match of this 3-game series, all tied at 1. Ian Seymour on the mound for the Rays. Nathan Lucas leading it off. And looks at a strike. Lucas with a ground out in the 2nd. 1 run, 4 hits, 1 error for the Blue Jays. 1 run, 3 hits for the Rays. The Blue Jays have left 4 men on. The Rays 2. Lucas hits a fly ball deep right field, and it is gone. Nathan Lucas, home run number 7 on the season, and the Blue Jays are back on top.
How many times have we talked about Nathan Lucas sinking into his legs to hit the ball down in the zone? And this is why he handles off speed and breaking pitches down in the zone so well. He sinks right into it. It's right into his barrel. These are the pitches that he does damage on. He can hit the fastballs up the zone for base hits, but not necessarily doing damage. But he sinks right into that pitch and lifts it up and out of here.
It's his first home run off a left-handed pitcher this season, and the Blue Jays lead 2-1.
And it's off of the changeup that's been such a good pitch for Seymour against righties and lefties.
Well, he can drop that left knee down to the ground when he needs to, can he?
The pitch is diving down there, and he just stays right on with it.
Charles McAdoo has not had any fun yet against Ian Seymour. A couple of strikeouts in this game. After a 3-hit, 2 RBI game last night.
Charles has shown the ability to handle pitches all around the plate, whether it's middle in, middle away. That closed off stance. Caleb was talking about that on Blue Jays Central today, about it's a unique stance. You don't see many hitters do that anymore, start so closed, but he does it because he normally would fly right open. So this allows him to open up to about even. And we've seen him handle pitches middle in and away. And that's a good thing with a lot of power in that bat.
Sends this one foul left side.
If I saw a hitter standing like that, my first inclination would be to pound him inside.
Right.
But then you watch the swing and the way he strides, and I'd be like, be very careful.
Between the power and the speed, and he does have speed, and the positional versatility, he is definitely an interesting guy right now. They're just trying to find 13 healthy position players to fill out the lineup card, put 9 of them in the lineup. Stays alive as it's fouled off the mask of Fortes.
Well, this is one of those games. We talk about Tropicana Field and how crazy things happen. Well, crazy things have happened also, but it's the lineup changes and adjustments John Schneider has had to make here. Now McAdoo's at second base. You got Valenzuela at first. Crazy things, but what a game would this be for the Blue Jays to win and win a series.
And McAdoo strikes out for the 3rd time. Another good changeup from Seymour.
It is just such a good pitch for the left-hander. He mixes in the other pitches well enough that this has to look like a fastball to the hitters, and that's why to me the changeup can be one of the best pitches in baseball for the guys that throw good ones. The rotation looks the same as the heater.
Daz Cameron 0 for 2, a strikeout and a fly ball. Right at the bottom of the zone. Cameron thought it was low. He'll challenge.
Toronto batter challenging the strike call.
And he's correct. So the Blue Jays are 2 for 2 on challenges. Still have both of theirs. The Rays have 1. It appears as if Cameron's role, at least in the short term, is maybe spot starts against lefty.